Well, if you've been watching WMAR today, you've been seeing that it is our GBMC Day of Answers, and the topic is the flu and you. Dr. Rachel Plotnick is a pediatrician with GBMC Health Partners. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to start out by asking about just the flu in general. Of course, concern about the flu is even more intensified this year because of COVID-19. Remind us how dangerous the flu is for our children specifically.
The flu for children is incredibly dangerous. And in fact, more children die of the flu each season than have died of COVID-19 to date.
And so tell me, what is the ideal time for children to get that flu vaccine? Because of course we want to keep them safe.
Absolutely. Now is the time.
Right now is the time.
Yeah, right now we're really asking all of our patients to get their flu vaccine before Halloween.
So I've been hearing from other parents in the little Facebook groups I'm on and what have you, and they're like, you know what, we might not need to get it because the kids are not in school, they're just at home, they're rarely out. What do you say to parents that have that perspective?
Remember that the flu is very contagious among kids and more dangerous than COVID-19. So even if they're not putting themselves in situations where they're likely to get COVID-19, they very well, just by being kids, they're at high risk of contracting the flu.
Got it. Okay, so we want to make sure that we give the kids the flu shot. Is it just one shot? Do they have to get multiple shots? How does it all work?
So that's a great question. So if you're getting the flu shot for the very first time and you're under 9, that's the only situation where you need 2 flu shots. And those 2 shots are 1 month apart. Otherwise, 1 shot will do. Thank goodness.
Yeah, exactly, because the kids don't want to get it to begin with, but again, if they need it, we got to make sure that we take them. Now, is there more than one type of flu vaccine for kids?
Yes, there is a flu mist that you can get, or the nasal spray, and it is licensed and recommended for children this year, but it's only for children who are otherwise healthy and above the age of 2.
Okay.
It is a little more hard to find. So parents, if they're interested in that option, they should be able to find it, but they should go online and look what pharmacies are stocking it.
And what would be the benefit of doing it that way over the shot, I guess?
Really just if you had a child who was really shotophobic,
Okay.
but could sit still enough for the nasal spray.
For the nasal spray, got it. So it's just an alternative, but it will do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Got it. Okay, so if we had a child who got the flu vaccine last year, that flu shot last year, do they need to do it again this year?
Yes, because every year the flu strains change. So the flu shot changes.
Okay, and again, I want to differentiate between the symptoms of coronavirus and the flu, because that's one of the things as a mom, I wondered, how it would be different. And you see these little charts, but a lot of the symptoms sort of overlap. So can you differentiate between the two?
No, I think it's going to be very hard for us to differentiate the symptoms. That's why it's even more important that we vaccinate against the flu, because we don't have a vaccine yet for COVID-19. So we got to do what we can do.
Exactly. And then maybe rule one out if you've gotten the flu vaccine.
If you've gotten the flu shot, your chances of having the flu are much lower.
Wow. This is a lot to consider, a lot to think about, especially for us parents. There's just so much going around for all of us, but specifically when you're in charge of a little one, you want to make sure that you're keeping them safe. What else can parents do for their children in addition to getting that flu vaccine, just to make sure that we are keeping them as safe as possible?
Well, I mean, having them play outside instead of inside with other children, wearing a mask, obviously, all those things are going to help us. And so we're hoping that if we can get kids vaccinated and we can, continue to wear our masks and socially distance, we're going to hopefully see a milder flu season.
Got it. All right. Well, a reminder that WMAR is partnering with GBMC for today's Day of Answers about the flu. So make sure you keep watching for more helpful information about the flu and you. Dr. Rachel Plotnick, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.